A man behind the curtain, and the other man behind the curtain. Remember, was the charity event we held last year. Last year was our inaugural event, and we had hopes of maybe making $5,000, and you all were wonderful, and we made over 7 grand. It is basically a 24-hour live stream where we get various YouTubers and personalities to stream for 24 hours, and there will be raffles and other things where we give you opportunity to give us money. All money raised goes to a charity. Most likely it will be Toys for Tots. Don't quote me on that. When we make the official announcement, it will be. But the point is, we keep nothing. Why? Because how much money do we make at the World Foam Alliance? I'll let you in on a little secret. It's called negative pick a number.
Lost money on this operation.
We have Cap, man. What's going on? As always, Captain Xavier has joined me.
What? I've lost money, but I've gained experiences.
Ain't that the truth, man?
And I twitch, apparently.
So apparently, I think I was muted for most of it, so y'all probably saw my mouth moving, but couldn't hear what I'm saying. So let's start this again, shall we? from the
Is
beginning?
this thing on?
Good question. I think mine is on.
Hello? Ah,
We'll start from the
no,
beginning.
I messed
One
up
of
my screen.
that's right. There's many of us here at the World Foam Alliance, and our men behind the curtain. One of them is missing tonight. The other one is filling in. He will do an admirable job. He's just not as quick with the buttons or as fancy as the other one is. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Get Off My Lawn. Get Off My Lawn is a bi-weekly show that myself and Captain Xavier do where we talk about everything Nerf related. It is most likely a call-in show if we're able to get that up and running, and I think today we will. And we usually have guests. Today we have special guests from Canada. We'll get to them in a minute. But in the meantime, the World Foam Alliance, if you don't know what it is, we basically are set out to try to connect people and the world to all the foam flinging events and clubs that actually happen. It is amazing how many people own Nerf weapons or Nerf blasters, but have no idea that they have many people in the same area that they can actually go out and do organized events and play with instead of just, sitting in your basement going, wow, I wish I had someone else to play with. With that said, worldfoamalliance.org is our website. Actually, we're probably due for a major update. I cannot give you details on that. We just have our fingers crossed. As you know, we are a nonprofit. We all do this for free. What does that mean? When we have free time, we try to make it happen. Worldfoamalliance.org. Please go register, especially if you're part of a club or anything else. Go register. Let us know where you are. When we know where you are, then we can tell other people where you are. That is our goal. That is our mission. That is what we're trying to do. Now, with that said, Captain Xavier, I think that covers it. Maybe did y'all hear me? Was I muted, or did everybody get that?
I went and looked at the comments, and now I can't see the chat anymore.
I can.
Chat says you can hear me.
I think they can hear
voices. Can they hear you?
I always hear voices. Voices who said that? But
I did. Everyone's good.
The other thing is, see, we got voices. So the other thing is, last year, many of you in the chat were probably there. Those that were not, we had our first annual Foamsgiving. Foamsgiving is basically a 24-hour live stream charity event. When we first had the idea of it, it was going to be myself and Captain Xavier, and pray to God that someone at 3 o'clock in the morning would tune in to watch the two of us asleep on our desks drooling. Because for 24 hours, we are not spring chickens anymore, and we're old grumpy men. What does that mean? If I got to sleep, I got to sleep. Just deal with it. However, because of the fantastic people in our community, we set up time slots, and we filled up every hour with so many people, and it was a huge success. People were streaming for all over the world, all over the country, even from, people next door. But that's not the point. What it is that when we stream, we actually are there to raise money. We set a lofty goal at $5,000, and I thought we'd miss miserably. Well, we missed, but in a good way. We ended up raising $7,000, which was wonderful, and all of it went to Toys for Tots. This year, we'll be doing it again. Again, we're going to have a lot of wicked prizes that we're going to be raffling off, giving away, never mind different special things. Like, for example, last year, you could actually buy how many darts Captain Xavier was going to shoot through his through tier. And I think that alone raised $1,400. So there'll be a lot of fun things like that. 1,400. So that'll be happening
again. We're going
again.
for $2,000. We want to actually fill the tank because the tank holds 2,000 rounds. And that was a fun video, getting to do a full tank dump with tier. I hadn't done that since I built her, I think.
Actually, on that note, I think one of the things was you were supposed to shoot me with tier.
Someone was supposed to shoot you. I don't know if that ever happened.
Well, there might be in the next month, actually less than a month, the two of us will actually be in the same state in the same place. So maybe we'll make that happen. Comment below if you want to see Captain Xavier shoot me with it. Why am I saying this out loud? I must be
mighty hosing. I'm going to hose the hoser.
But that will be happening. I don't know what the date is, but basically it's going to be the weekend before American Thanksgiving. It'll most likely be that Saturday. This is 85 to 90% most likely what's going to happen. But again, wait till we give the official announcement, and it'll be in writing and everything else like that. And then it's for sure. But right now, that is the heads up. That is what's happening. To give you an idea of some of the prizes, last year we were given a gold Mark IV, which only I think 20 of them were built by Dart Zone, and we had them signed by a lot of people, and that went off. This year, we have the last of their metallic series. They're no longer doing them. And what we have is a metallic red Mark IV, which has already been signed thanks to Maryland Mayhem, and that one will be going up. As well, I do have if you've seen it, if not, you can go check my socials for it, just because I don't want to put it on screen now. How-to guide? We might get banned, and nobody wants that. But I was given a moose, a black and yellow custom Al the Geek moose by Foam-demic. I love the thing, and you know what? Because it was given to me, I'm going to give it back. So that one also will be going in the raffle this year, as well in the raffle, because we're going to get new jerseys next year. I am 97% sure I will be raffling off my Al the Geek Team Mega Double XL jersey. I will sign it, and that will also go in the silent auction as well. Can you tell my goal is to raise money, but at the same time is to give back to the community. I'm lucky to be part of it.
I've got a Rush and a Crush that I was sent for review. I need to do at least one more video on them, and then I'll probably donate them because I'm probably never going to use them. I got too many other blasters. And they were given to me, so I'm going to give them to you. You'll probably also get a box of long wang darts.
Which reminds me, Captain Xavier, I've been talking enough, buddy. What's going on, man? Tell them what's happening and tell them how many darts you have.
I don't know if when they arrived, if it was after the last live stream, but some of you may remember I was contacted by somebody through Facebook, and originally I thought this has to be a gag. This has to be a joke. This has to be somebody, making fun of me. Because it was somebody by the name of Long Wang contacting me wanting to know if I wanted free darts. They sold darts on Amazon. These particular darts weren't selling well. Would I like them? And at first I'm like, Long Wang wants to send me darts. Okay, yeah, sure. And then I thought about it like, wait a minute, where are they from? And I looked it up, and they were in fact from China. And I realized that it might not be a gag. I might just being racist. So I decided to take the risk and go, yeah, sure, go ahead. Send me some darts. Expecting a box of darts. Maybe a couple of boxes. He sent me 16,000 half darts. The post office did not know how to handle this. Well, a little while ago, he reached out to me again and said, hey, we got different darts. You want them too? And I, sure, send them on over. And then I failed to check my P.O. box for about a month. And I went there, and they're like, yeah, we were about to call you. You're taking up 3 out of 4 of our shelves back here. He sent me another 17,000 darts. So, yeah, 33,000 darts later. I don't know what to do with all of these darts. They're kind of a bamboo dart. I think I got some in this bin that are similar. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that clearly. But they've got 3 small bands that are squeezed rather than the 2 that the Dart Zone ones and then the 3 that the Dart Zone ones have. So, yeah, I've got thousands and thousands of those in varying colors. I have them in 6 different colors now.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you were that fancy. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. What was sad is there was only 600 of the glow-in-the-dark ones. And I would have loved to have had 33,000 glow-in-the-dark darts, but I'll take 600.
Yep.
Because I've got the fancy muzzle attachments that light up glow-in-the-dark darts. In fact, I've got another one I need to do a review on around here somewhere. Should get on that. So yeah, I will probably give away darts in addition to the Rush and the Crush. Because, yeah.
And whatever else you find in your shop, because you have tons of stuff, man.
I got so much stuff. The other thing that I recently ended up with way too much of is, believe it or not, root beer.
Tell them how you ended up with root beer. This is funny.
So we do our
awesome at the same time.
Yeah, we do a monthly war at Fort Borst. It's a half hour north of me up in Centralia, Washington. And somebody found out about it, or there was members, people who usually came were part of this, but a representative of the local homeschool organization for Lewis County stopped by and were wondering if we would be interested or willing to run an event for their organization. They've got indoor space, so over the winter we would be able to host wars at their indoor space. But I said, sure. I've got my Nerf war in a trailer. I've got time, because they were wanting to do it during the week, and I have more time during the week than I do on weekends anymore. My weekends get busy fast. My weekdays are usually open. So So was it 2 weeks ago? Last weekend or last Wednesday, during this stream on Wednesday, or on the Foam Zone stream, I went and I ran a Nerf war for them. And when they asked, like, so what's it going to cost? I'm like, I'll do it for some root beer. I just enjoy running Nerf wars. And they're like, okay, we can do that. And I was expecting a bottle of root beer to sip on while I ran their Nerf war, or maybe a 6-pack if they were feeling generous. No, there was a bit of a mistranslation in what I meant by I will do it for some root beer. I meant get me a bottle of root beer. They translated this as every person who shows up must bring Captain Xavier root beer as tribute. 70 people showed up. I left with 15 gallons of root beer.
Tell you what, at Foam's Given, if you spend $100 in charity, you're getting 1,000 darts and 2 liters of root beer.
2 liters of, it was most of it was good root beer too. A&W, Mug, some Barks. There was one random like Walmart brand, and then there was some of the bottled stuff, the really good stuff, some Earps, some Dads. So yeah, so I'm doing another one for them this upcoming or next Wednesday during Foam Zone, and this time I told them to bring me sharp Tillamook cheddar.
You're gonna get 60 pounds of cheddar.
I hope so. That would. Oh, cheese is expensive, man. I would like to not have to buy cheese for a month.
No kidding. Dude, that is funny.
So that's been my life. Turns out homeschool kids are filthy little kleptos, but I knew that was going to be the case.
Why? What'd they take?
Darts. I'm assuming it's kids who put them in their pocket so they'd have ammo and then forgot to empty them at the end. I also lost a lot of rival ammo, I think. I'm not sure how much I had to begin with. Pretty sure I ended up with more blasters than I started with, though.
What?
That's always the case.
Holy cow.
It happens. But they had fun. It was different than our usual events because one, I didn't have 4 to 5 other veteran moderators helping me. It was just me running this. And a lot of the kids were a lot younger than we usually have. And so when you've got 20 or so kids that are a little young to understand complex rules, some of the discipline falls apart.
No kidding.
But yeah, just I'm trying to get a 6-year-old to understand the concept of respawn is a losing proposition.
And not to shoot you in the eye at point blank range.
That too. Like, no, put your iPro down. Oh, okay, puts it down, puts it right back up again. No, keep it down, kid.
Dude, that is funny. Well, I guess considering we're talking about events in your house, so then also, even though I haven't bought my plane ticket, but that's going to be happening this week, I will be going out to Captain Xavier's compound, and you will find me amongst the root beer and cheese somewhere.
Yes. It should be a good event. I'm looking forward to it. I need to get out to the range and finish the upgrade, or at the arena and finish the upgrades. I got the main walls up, but I need to get the interior walls and the doors cut. But it should be good. Hopefully the weather will hold. It'll probably be cold and damp, but we'll soldier on.
Like last time, I know what to bring, so we'll be good, and we'll just light a lot of fires or something.
Layers.
What could possibly go wrong? Yeah. No kid. Well, so the one thing that we will hint at is that myself and Captain Xavier have received a box. It is already at his house. Yeah. We're not telling you who it's from, but we have matching sets of a large one and a pistol. So there might be a weekend involved of doing stuff with that. That's all you're getting. Does that suck and does that tease horribly? Yeah. Too bad. Tune in then, and we'll let you know what it is.
Because we have no idea what we will have time and energy to actually accomplish.
Because our list is this big, and then we'll do 2 things.
Yeah, because we're old men. There's all kinds of things we want to do. But, when he gets in on Thursday, we're going to be too tired. We're going to get some food and go take a nap. And then Friday, it's Friday. Who wants to do a lot of stuff on a Friday? And then Saturday is Borst, and then Sunday is the war at my place, and then Monday we have to throw you back on an airplane. When do we have time to actually do stuff?
Nothing. So maybe we'll live stream me snoring. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
People have asked, because I'm up to my 200th Friday fan mail.
Dude, 200.
And they're wanting me to do something special, and I was like what? And one suggestion was for you and I to live stream the Q&A. And we could open the box as part of that.
I'm in.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's Friday night. There may be some crew down here, but I doubt it, but we'll see. So it might just be you and me live streaming, like how all of this started, but it'll be on my channel.
Perfect. So we will provide the link, and y'all can watch, and that'll be good.
Yeah. What have you been up to? Weren't you in Europe recently?
I was in Scotland, man. So I did, and we talked about. I'll mention it again. What do I care? It's my show, and I'm old, and I forgot. I was in Scotland the beginning of the month. For those that don't know, I actually sing in a church choir. I never sang in a choir growing up. We did an Ireland tour. My wife has since she was a teenager. And so back in 2016, there was a choir tour. We were going to Ireland. And I decided to go and said, well, you know what? I will sing in the choir because maybe it'll be fun. And I have sang in it ever since. The opportunity, man, to sing in like old European churches where it is, 1,000 years of old stone, the acoustics, and it is just awesome. And what these are actually paid tour vacations. We get a bus, you spend a lot of money, and we frolic around like tourists. And I ended up in Scotland. And the good news is I was in Scotland. So, in Glasgow in Scotland is what I meant to say. You just said Scotland, dumbass. So while I was in Glasgow, we do have Nerf clubs in Glasgow. And I was able to meet with Alan Glaswell. He came up and met me at my hotel, man. We had whiskey and Scottish beer for a good 3 hours. And finally I'm like, all right, I got to pass out. But it was so much fun meeting him. And he actually came out. And because one of the churches we were singing at was literally 15 minutes from his house. So we actually came out for that as well. And it was a lot of fun seeing him and connecting with him. But never mind transferring all over Europe. It was all over Scotland. I'd never lived there because I need more sunshine, but I would go back and visit in a heartbeat. So, dude, that was fun. Otherwise, getting back and it's just the regular routine of people buying stuff for Halloween from me, regular job, other work stuff. Life is busy, but you know what? It's not a bad thing, and I'll be good. And now I got a plan to go to see some guy out in Washington. So life is busy, but I'm good.
Yeah, well, it'll be dreary and wet again. we very much share Scotland's weather here, for in the fall at least.
So does that mean I should buy
into the dark and damp season?
Do you have a kilt? Should I buy a kilt? Should we just pretend it's Scotland?
I don't have a kilt. I keep meaning to try to get one of the various Scottish clans that I'm probably descended from.
Yeah, man. I think we'll figure it out. But also, just to let everyone know before we go off on our own rabbit hole. So tonight we do have guests, and it will be a call-in show. We haven't turned on the phones yet, so don't bother calling now. But basically, who we have is Jeff and Jeff, also known as Hixie and Blue. They are Canadians. They are from the A team. So if you ever follow with any competitives and you've seen the Canadians running around, you definitely know the two of them. They are good friends of ours. We played against each other. We have way too much fun, and we're going to have them on tonight with us here shortly. But basically, also for those of you in the Southern Ontario area or in Northern New York, they are both admins for the group called Tang, which is the Toronto Area Nerf group. You can find them on Facebook. They'll tell us exactly where the events are, what dates they have it, because if I try to tell you now, I'll get it wrong and then I'll get in trouble. And then I'm spreading misinformation. And then you show up at the wrong place and say, thanks, Al, I went to the wrong place. And I'll say, I told you, man, just read this stuff. I plant the seed of maybe you should go read stuff so you can remember to do this. But yeah, the two of them will be on because they also have a Halloween event which I don't think I'm gonna make it to, which I wish I could, but someone needs to like create a teleporter so it's not an 8.5 hour drive back up to Canada. It's just, teleporter and I'm there. We could do so many more things. Of all the things to invent, someone invented teleporter, damn it. Watch enough Star Trek. Be creative. The hell.
We've managed to teleport a particle.
Yeah, but I'm a lot of particles, dude. Look at me. It's 285 pounds of particles.
One at a time, we'll get you there.
what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
And 3 years later, we finally, one particle at a time, got him back to Canada. Now wait for another 3 years and we'll teleport his ass back. Oh, this is funny. All right, you got anything else or should we bring the boys on?
I got new blasters.
All right, tell us about the new blasters. Now we'll bring the boys on.
Siren blasters finally arrived. Well, my Gnarl arrived forever ago. And then the other two, the Mauler. I shouldn't show these. We'll get canceled. The Mauler and the Blink. So Siren is a new company that has decided they want to try to get into the high-powered Nerf market.
Yeah.
Who they were before, why they decided to do this, I'm sure I don't know. But they got the power. That they figured out. The blasters are very powerful. They're high FPS. The pistol hits 150. The rifle hits 250. The flywheeler hits 180. The pump action one has adjustable. You can adjust how far back you prime it. Will change how hard it hits, which is something I have never seen in a blaster before. So that's actually really cool. The flywheeler, you can adjust the rate of fire and the FPS. It's got just dials on the side. It uses a standard LiPo, but it also has the recharger built into the blaster, so you can recharge the blaster with USB-C. There's just a port on the side of the blaster. They got some innovative stuff. Where they failed miserably is the ergonomics.
Yes.
And I don't know how bad the accuracy is. The accuracy using the darts that came with the springers is horrific. I could not hit a target, one of my pie pans, at 25 feet. Just couldn't. But that was with their closed cell foam darts. I have a feeling, I suspect, I tried a couple of regular darts and they shoot a lot straighter. They're still not great, but they're a lot better. But the ergonomics, the grips on both springers are just, I don't know how it got past R&D. I honestly just like, who signed off on this? Who thought this was a good idea? But
someone assumed adults that we all have massive meat hooks, so therefore it's good and fine. No.
Well, that's the thing is one of them, the grip is too big for my hands, and I have big hands. But then the foregrip, the pump grip, is too small.
Yeah.
Like I can only get 3 fingers on it. You're like, take 50% or 25% off the handle and put it on the front grip, and we'd be set. And then the pistol, the grip is sized for a child. And one of the people that got sent these for review, because I didn't get sent these for review. These were not free. I had to pay for them. And I'm kind of glad I did now, because apparently Siren is a nightmare to work with. One of the guys who did get sent them for review, his big question was, who are these for? Because the ergonomics are for kids, but the power are for adults. So what's the target audience here? They're very toy looking. They look like old Busby blasters in appearance.
They do.
So
I have them all.
Yeah.
Same thoughts. Yeah, man. Exactly what you're saying.
I like that they're toy-like. I don't have a problem with the fact that they don't look like real weapons. That's a good policy. But still make them comfortable.
Absolutely.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what the hobby does with them, because, like I said, they've got the power out of the box, which is, unmodded, the thing hits 260. That's very, very impressive. It's kind of impressive that they're even able to legally do that.
I I think there was a lot of
But-
questions in terms of how they got it across the border and legally into the country. I think there was a lot, but it's all hearsay. But I don't know what they did to get past it. But yeah, there was some finagling.
There was some dubiousness. Maybe
Mhm.
they made sure that they were in the low setting position when they were tested.
And just pretended like, yeah, no, this is it. It's just a stupid switch.
It primes and it works, and that's how it works. Who knows?
And it's not labeled. It's not like it says medium, high, or anything. It's just the stupid switch.
Yeah. I already know of one person who's already developed a colleted front end for the Mauler, so you can put in longer barrels, and then you'd be able to put a scar barrel on. The pistol, it almost looks like they were considering make it come with a scar barrel, and then didn't, because they really need rifling with as powerful as they are. But that's an easy thing to replace the original muzzle with one that can allow you to take a scar barrel. And then the flywheelers, that's a flywheeler. It's a little small, but if you're going for compact CQB, that's not bad either.
Yeah, that's true. Well, again, because their target audience was children, men, children. Remember, their target audience was for adults, children, adults.
Sure. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes. Yes.
The spin-up speed on the flywheeler is a little slow, and I'm wondering if that's just because it has really heavy wheels. Because I didn't notice any dip between shots, so it's got to have really heavy wheels that are maintaining the momentum. But that does mean your spin-up is going to be slow because you've got to build up momentum. Anyway, that's the news from here. I've got 2 of my videos out, and the Blink review comes out on Friday. I'm hoping to do a range test with better ammo for the Springers between now and then. We'll see. All right, I've blathered. We've got our half hour. Let's get the Canadians in here. And
so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have Hixie and Blue from the A team, and yes, I am wearing a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. I think it's fitting because we have the Canadians on, but also the NHL season has started, and tonight is opening night. So I have the Leaf game on, I have a Leaf jersey on, and I have Canadians on here. Jeff, man, what's shaking, boys? How are you? And are they muted?
They appear to be muted.
Are we
I didn't want to talk about it. Here we go.
There we go. I found the button.
Nice.
Blue has
How about the other
button. They'll get there eventually.
I got it.
I was gonna call him my silent partner, but clearly he has a voice now.
Go ahead then.
No, by all means, please.
And like you Canadians. No, you first. You first. No, after you.
I
People meet in the doorway.
Exactly. Gentlemen, man, what's shaking? How you guys been? What's going on?
Go ahead, Hixie.
Didn't go good. Busy. Like everyone else. Work. Finally for me to pick back up. But not exactly what we're talk about. We're here to talk about some old school hardcore nerf, the old NIC style.
How fitting that you do it on the show with old guys.
Those of us that were oh boy.
Old.
All right, while he's grabbing that, let people know exactly what you're talking about.
Blue.
Okay. So what Hixie's bringing up is we brought back last year. Actually brought back last year was Hell Before Halloween. So anyone's been around for a long time knows that Hell Before Halloween was NIC war that was held up in Canada, and it was done by Forsaken Angel, which some people still kind of know the name based on the Angel Breach, which people do for the long shot, which is just a brass breach. So he used to run the war, and I believe he did his last one in like 2012. So we
I joined the hobby in 2012.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have a clue about it. So we brought that back with also Dan single shot, low rate of fire with no mags. Right?
This is in fact the Daniel Murray special.
Yeah.
This is one of his. He built this for me.
So, yeah, Daniel can make some awesome stuff. I didn't even think about it. I would have brought up my Caliburn. I have a fully machined Caliburn he made for me. So that thing's pretty awesome. I've taken it around a bunch of places. Everyone seems to love it. But with that, we decided to bring that back, kind of slow it down. It's not the same as our normal Nerf wars, right? It's not as quick pace. It's nice and slow. You can move around. So just brings a different thing. And then with that, brought in some of the older kind of costume rules that he had with wearing horror costumes and stuff like that to try to make an event. Last year's Al did sponsor. So we gave out an award for best costume, a couple other ones, including a game mode called Headhunters. There was a trophy. So Headhunters is how it sounds. It's headshots only. It's how you get eliminated. So
wow.
Shoot the person in the head, that's it.
This is why I wear a mask, a full helmet mask.
Yeah, and actually it was a team member, Colin, that won it last year. So I think he's going to try to come back up and do it again this year.
Yeah, I think Colin's up here. But he has the advantage of being tiny, which you would think would actually help us because we don't have to aim as high to hit the head. But no, Colin. No, Pocket Colin. You guys have played against Pocket Colin. He's another member of the A team. He's their smallest guy with the biggest heart and the fastest little legs on that field.
That he is. So then, I guess before we get away from it, what day is it? What time is it? And is there an age restriction?
So this is going to be running on October 19th, 11 a.m. until 5 for the Nerf part. So 5 o'clock we'll be cleaning up because, sun disappears pretty quick. So you need to be able to pick up those darts. So after 5, after we're done cleanup and that, we'll continue then the event kind of where you can just go if you want, but we will be having a gigantic bonfire. And when I say bonfire, our last one was, 12 feet high. So
easily
nice big fire. And we just sit around and talk.
Skids burn good.
So the event is held at my dad's property. All the address is actually on the Facebook listing. So it's an hour east of Toronto. My dad's got a nice chunk of property there. And we, myself, Hixie, and a couple of the other members of Tang spent a lot of time this year cleaning out a significant portion of the backwoods that had never been used for anything in the 40 years the property's been in my family. So we cleaned that up and built a nice arena in the back there, which I believe is somewhere around 160 by 160. So it's not small, but it's a nice wooded area that we've cleared all the branches and everything like that. We built some pallet cover and some other things for it. And I think the Halloween decorations will also make it really nice for this year.
By the way, for those following along, you guys posted your progress last year, and the before and after. You boys really did put some work in, and it is night and day. And it can full props to you guys. That's a lot of work, and you guys really transformed it into such a manageable play field, man, which is not easy. So well done.
Yeah, I've been meaning to finish off a video because I took several walkthroughs of the property. So I mean to throw together a video. I have a bunch of footage. I just haven't got around to throwing it together for a nice quick little run through of everything that we did. But it definitely
there's a little bit of stuff up from what was it, Hunger Games, I think you posted.
Yeah. So we do have a YouTube that I threw up, which is just some gameplay from the group. So it's a Toronto area Nerf group on YouTube. So it's pretty easy to find. It is lower though. It's not many subscribers. Videos are just some gameplay videos. It was more meant to show so that other members of the club could go on and watch the gameplay that I was taking. It was easier to share it that way than through Facebook or anything else. So,
dude, that's awesome. And again, for those that don't know, if you make the trip up to Canada in October, it is not winter, but it is cold. So a 12-foot bonfire is necessary.
At night, it's cold. It's not so bad during the day. Bring a hoodie. It makes the darts just so much nicer to take. Like nerfing in the fall is one of the best parts about nerfing in Canada. that reminder that it's about to get too cold to nerf and that we got to go inside. Though I wouldn't mind at some point playing in the snow. I just know dart retention would go to 0.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah,
that.
probably.
You don't get your darts back until the spring, and then they're a little worse for wear.
Yeah, they don't survive outside the elements very well.
Well, the good news is if you nerf in the winter, I know a guy that has 36,000 darts that he can part with.
I have 33,000. Thank you very much. And I've got 800. I'm shipping to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah, I've got a friend who got stationed there. He's in the military, and getting darts. There's a Nerf club there. They're great fun, but getting darts there is a little bit of a hassle. So I'm mailing him some of the new long wang darts, yellow with yellow tips in a while.
Long Wang should miss the guy I know from work that's named Les Hung.
Yeah, see? His unfortunate cousin.
The sad part is that's actually his name.
There are some interesting names out there. That's for sure.
So on the sponsorship, last year we did have a couple. This year, right now, we just have. I'm going to throw some stuff in for a prize, and then we have. I always forget what Noah Blaster. I always forget exactly what his is. So Noah Blasters is up here. He's a little bit north in Ontario. He's been getting into bringing in some of the realms and all that stuff and importing them into Canada to be able to sell stuff here in Canada. So he's sponsored this year. He's going to be giving I think it's Dart Bros Tracer unit.
Oh, nice.
Someone to win. So someone win that. I think that's probably going to be the prize for Headhunters this year. We'll see.
Perfect. The reason I asked that question, it'd be mean right now if I asked that question because clearly that's a leading question. And then I'll say, all right, that's it. Yeah, I'm not giving you nothing. And on to our next topic. Yeah,
Sure.
So yeah, I know, right? You know how we are. Canadians. We pretend to be nice, but really we are the worst people ever. So then,
Nicest people in the world until you put us behind the wheel of a car.
That's right. Just here, hold my beer. So
we're in a trench, from what I've heard.
You call them Geneva Conventions. We call them the checklists.
So I guess I'll make it official. Yeah, I am sponsoring. I will give you a bunch of stuff to give away.
Thank you, Al.
I got stuff. Not a problem. It'll most likely be Dart Zone stuff. Do you guys have Strikers or Nexus? Strikers 2.0s and Nexus X. Are they available in Canada or is it hard to find still?
Can't get them.
None of the new stuff.
All right. So then I got a couple painted up. So it'll be a Striker 2.0 and screw it. It'll be a Striker 2.0 and an Nexus X that I've painted up, and I'll donate both of those.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure that gets up there.
Not a problem. At the same time, I will see if I can find any Dart Zone stuff. Sometimes magically we get stuff that we can give away. Why? Because we're the World Foam Alliance, and unlike all the other major brands that pretend we don't exist, Dart Zone actually likes what we're doing. So no promises, but I'll see if I can score a few things.
Well, I have to say the Nexus Pro X is probably one of the best purchases that I made for using for our club. And why I say that is because our normal club wars are 200 FPS. That fits right at the thing. And it was cheap enough that I don't care. I'll just throw it at anyone who shows up that they don't have a blaster. Here you go. And it just works.
It is by far the best out of the box experience blaster I have ever touched in this hobby. I've got 3D printed stuff. I've got stuff from Worker, everything else. Everything from Worker is fantastic. It just needs a little bit of something. This is the first product really that's come out in this space that works.
It's funny when you go to, especially when it first came out, and I don't know how still prevalent it is today, but it is because I've been busy and haven't made it to enough wars. But when you see guys halfway through, they put down again their 3D printed modded stuff and they pick up the Nexus X and they're running that for the rest of the day.
We had our last outdoor war of the year before was it last weekend, 2 weekends ago? And yep. I had just come off of doing a week of second unit, long days, and I was like, what am I going to bring to the war? What do I want to run? And I just went, you know what, just grab your MPX and you'll be fine. And I did. And it was, I did not, I had my MPX and I had my FDL, and I didn't bring my FDL out of the bag. It just runs. It's just a great blaster.
It really is. So one of our local guys, he's actually new to the club. He messaged me and asked me to paint up his, and it's cool because it's going to be a pink scheme, and it's going to look awesome. So once I'm finished that, I'll be posting pictures of it. I'd show it now, but we've had some challenges in the past, and I don't want to end the stream yet. But there will be offline images.
Rolling the dice tonight.
Luckily, well, that's also a testament to the new Siren Blasters. They really do look toys. And again, toys, that's all we have on here is toys. They're all toys, but I mentioned they're toys. They are all toys, and they are just toys. But yeah, it's I have the Mauler. I have to get a Siren. Toy. Yes, toy. The toys. I got to get the toys. Why? Because I'm a large child. Look at me. Of course I need toys. But yeah, that's going to be fun. So wait, now this summer, Tank did have a new field, which you guys use. And I remember because I think last time you guys were on, we had talked about it, where Blue was able to attain a field to use on. And now I guess it's coming to the end of the year because it does snow and get cold in Canada, and you can try, but you'll be there by yourself freezing. But until then, were you guys able to utilize it this summer?
We've been running in parks and schools for 7 years. This is our eighth year, so no problems. And then last year we ran into a problem where we got booted off the school property. And it's not so much that you weren't allowed to do it, but we're too big now. We're too organized. We have giant inflatable covers and everything like that. So it's now more like an organized event and not just a bunch of idiots getting together. So
I resemble that remark.
We need permits.
The fact that they have more of an issue with an organized group than with a bunch of idiots is kind of counterintuitive.
You would think that.
And am I the only one who keeps claiming that we are, in fact, a group of idiots?
So it then set out trying to find somewhere we could play. We were looking at going back to some parks and just running it and hopefully not run into any issue, because there's some parks that are kind of out of the way that wouldn't be too much trouble, and they weren't full of tents yet. So we were looking at that kind of stuff. And then I just happened to be at work one day, and I came across this corporate area. So it's a couple high-rise buildings, and they have a parking garage and a gigantic parking lot. And off to the one side, they have a nice big grass triangle. This field, nice, right next to the parking lot, everything like that. And I went, you know what? That would work perfect. We could fit on there, no problem. So I went and talked to the property manager. And she said, yeah, no problem. If you guys are going to do it, as long as you keep it clean, we have no problem with that, right? Do it on the weekend so it's not interfering with their business, right? Like I said, it's just two big, giant office buildings. So we went there. I believe we did 6 wars.
6 or 7, yeah.
Right? So we did 6 or 7 wars there. The first one, though, we ended up not attending. We ended up going back inside because it was still a little too cold in April.
It snowed in April. It happens.
So we started.
It may have snowed in April again.
Yeah. So, but the field ran great. Everyone who came enjoyed it. The thing that kind of sucks with it is, unlike our other one, there used to be a bunch of shade. This one, at least we have shade where we're staging. So that's still something. And we go for 4 to 5 hours every event. So there's tons of time for people to just go sit down and relax in the shade, right? And just pick their turns on when they're going to. But the field worked out to be pretty big. We had some issues with how we were going to set up the field at first, with it being a triangle, and try to make it balanced back and forth. And then finally we said, forget trying to make a triangle work. We'll just make a rectangle inside this triangle. And then the last couple of wars we did that, and they worked a lot more for the balance of the game.
Why not just set up 3 teams?
We thought about that, and then that just chaos.
Yeah.
It also, funny enough, it actually does lead into the next point. This is also the first year that we ever decided that we were going to continue on charging. when we were playing in public parks, we were very much against ever charging for events. And then we moved inside, beforehand, everything was donation. Then we had to move inside for the winter. And thankfully we have an amazing dojo space up in Markham, and it lets us nerf through the winter. And we are so thankful for that. We dropped down to 130 when we go inside because we tried it with our old cap at 175, and I don't think I've ever had more welts in my life. So we dropped down to HVZ spec, and it's actually the Dojo Wars. I wish we had a little more space, but they've very quickly become my favorite wars of the year, because that's when we run all of the silly stuff, all the silly stuff, all the fun stuff. That's when all of no one's worried about how hard your blaster hits. You don't have to worry about the wind. Everyone's just out running whatever. You can run a deploy in a dojo and get tags. It's happened.
Everything clears the dojo. It is not a big space.
Everything clears the dojo. Bit the bullet and bought a pew pew this year, and with the new hard firmware he put on it that scatters the darts, he literally dumped an entire, I think it was an 18, if not a full coda, round of mags from one end of the dojo to the other, and before they hit the wall, everything had emptied from that mag, and that was beyond impressive because it's not big. So shout out to the guy that makes the pew-pews, because that is one heck of a piece of machinery.
PewTech is an absolute madman. I met him in Switzerland last year and had pizza. He's never been to a Nerf war.
That's the best part about it.
Not
Like, you got to be kidding.
There is a Nerf club in Switzerland. He's just never been able to make it. So he makes some of the best blasters in the entirety of the hobby, and he's never actually gotten to go to a war.
By the way, before we forget it, CR Nerf just said in the comments, he said, "Here's your new T-shirt." There's a T-shirt, if I ever heard one. Everything clears the dojo. There's your new Tang shirt, man.
Hey, I've been pushing for a tank shirt for a little bit now. We just got to get off our butts and get the mad scientist Adrian to design the next logo.
Well, on the note of the tank shirt, the problem with that has been I'm still sitting on a bunch of A-Team shirts, and with the club only just starting to pay for itself this year, money was money. I wasn't going to spend a bunch of money on shirts without knowing I was going to get the money back. With that said,
that's right. Yeah. That's what we were talking about. We got sidetracked.
Now with club coming in,
we were talking about money.
We were talking about money. Yeah,
we made it go to pay.
Pay events, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in doing that, we made it go to pay. We settled on $10 Canadian, so it's like, I don't know, 4 cents American.
Like $4.75 tops.
$1.50. Yeah.
So we settled on that because we figure we're giving people 4 or 5 hours entertainment. $10 is not much. And what that allowed us to do is we bought a bunch of stuff for the club. We replaced the darts, everything like that. No longer is it all coming out of my pocket for the most part, with some donations from a couple of the other people and that. So we've been able to run that stuff. The new field did cost us a fair bit of money with buying all the stuff to set it up. I believe alone it was $350-ish we spent on renting a wood chipper to be able to clear.
I was going to say how much but that, you know what, at that point that was pure happiness for us. That was just too much fun.
Well, shoving a whole tree into a wood chipper that's like 30 feet long, honestly, is just awesome.
Yeah, this was a Fargo-sized wood chipper.
Oh my god! Did you guys put a blaster through it?
No. Damn, where were you when we were doing this?
I thought of that, to be honest. I just didn't bring any with me that day.
Pretend I never said this, man. Make sure you have something with the Team Mega XXL logo on it. That way, in case we play each other again, you can air that video of putting it through the wood chipper.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll have to air something else after stomping on you last time.
Actually, you know what, even better, man? Put together like a, man, here's a flashback. So when we used to go camping, Kill Bear National Park, and this is my 20s, when we were bored, right? we actually made a mannequin. We called him the Man. So everyone donated clothing, and we put together a mannequin with pants, shirts, and everything, and left them out in front of our campsite and all over the campsite, where everyone at nighttime thought he was real. So create a man, put on. I'll send you the Mega Double XL T-shirt, and put that through a wood chipper. And on the same token, put one through. I'll pay for the 18 T-shirt. Put an 18 T-shirt man through it as well. And then there's our advertising campaign for the next.
So you can have your own footage of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we just play back and forth. Those following along at home, pretend this conversation never happened. When you replay the live, it'll just be black.
Increasing escalation of horrific images, and then eventually we're just standing there going, have we taken this too far?
Never. Again, you call them the Geneva Conventions. We call them the checklist.
Exactly. And then you know what? You hide like a bottle of ketchup in the man, so when it goes through, it completes the effect. All right, I have issues clearly. To get back to what we were talking about, and part of actually, Blue, the reason I wanted you to touch upon that is just because, again, almost every show we always get someone asking us about new venues and events, and it's the idea of sometimes you got to think out of the box, because your first go-to is finding a community center, finding a park, or something else like that. Like what you said, you found actually a corporate space that was open and empty, easy parking. Bathrooms are always a challenge, but always start with a space. Last week when actually Foam Zone had CR Nerf on and talking about him. So it's like one of the things that I guess we had talked about it offline is because he's in Iowa. And well, if you're not in urban Iowa, once you get out of Iowa, it's amazing how many people have wide open spaces. So sometimes if you're not in an urban space and you have friends or people that have farms or spaces, you could always ask them if they would mind putting an event on it. But then also the way to find some people, especially now being October and fall Halloween, you'll find people that got spaces that do like hay rides or things like that where they're clearly open to the public. And because of the fact that they're open to the public, they might be willing to talk about, well, yeah, we got the space, we'll do Nerf wars. So it's just that whole idea of thinking out of the box. When it comes to inside, usually think of like a school gym or a church. And where do you guys go? You guys go to the dojo, and it worked out well. So these are all great examples if you're trying to put a Nerf event together at home or in where you're located. It's sometimes thinking outside the box, and it's amazing the places you'll actually find and come up with. And I guess then the final thing on that point was that you guys now, so what is your average turnout now compared to what it was like 2 years ago?
I'd say 2 years ago,
40?
we were close to 20, around 20. This year, our last war was actually the lowest of the year, and that was mostly because everyone thought it was going to rain. But we're up there.
And it was cold. Like
mid-30s.
It was no more likely to rain, but yeah.
I think we had 43 people at one of the wars this summer.
We've been averaging about 40 people since January of last year.
This is a great example of being persistent. It's not like, although as much as we'd love to, all right, I'll organize a Nerf war next Saturday, and there's 6 of us there. There is persistence, and for a lot of the successful clubs, like just let me finish this point, then we'll go to you, Hixie. Like, for example, most clubs, you'll find that there's always at least 1 or 2 people that finally say, all right, I'm in it for the long haul, and they end up funding most of it till they get it off the ground. But it's that perseverance. Like, for example, it's you guys for A-Team. For DMV, it was Dart Sweep, Andrew Ceriti. He's in the chat right now, CR Nerf, Bill. He's now at the same level where you guys were at like 2 or 3 years ago, where he's trying to build it, but he's gaining momentum. So for those of you listening at home that are trying to do it, it's not going to be instant success. You got to stick with it. So it helps if you love the sport, but if you stick with it and do it right, these are all examples that the people, if you build it, they will come. Sorry, go ahead, Hixie.
I was going to say, I think when Blue and I met in 2018, we were lucky if we had, 10 guys?
10 to 12 was our average for the first.
10 to 12 was our average. We were playing in literally this tiny little parkette up in, what was it, by Augusta? Or not Augusta. What's the big-ass golf course up north?
Yeah, well, it was Markham, so
Yeah. And
like,
there was 10 of us if we were lucky.
Yeah, and that was better because the first year it was 5 people.
Yeah,
exactly.
If you build it, they will come. If you want to start a Nerf club, the only advice we can ever give anyone is start a Nerf club.
Start it.
Just
hardest part is always going to be the location, but after that, it's just do it.
And we were lucky. Like, we have public parks in Toronto, and it literally wasn't until we were playing on school property, wasn't even the actual Toronto park system anymore, with cover and everything, and we just got a little too big to fly under the radar anymore. We ended up with the best problem to have, and I can't say I would change it for anything right now. It's amazing. Come the winter in the dojo, half the time Blue and I don't actually even get to Nerf. We spend the entire time flipping back and forth. He'll take half the people, I'll take half the people, and it's like we run one game, we run the second game, and then we dart sweep, because if we didn't, we wouldn't have any darts. They'd be destroyed.
Yeah, the dojo got to a point where it is too small to have everyone show up to play at the same time. So we were no longer drawing teams. We were drawing halves. The blue half's going to play. The red half is loading up. Then we switch.
That makes sense, but it works, man. As long as you time it properly and you get it set up, and actually then it becomes a well-oiled machine and it works.
Funny enough, I think we actually play more physical games when we're in the dojo doing that than we do out in the field. But let's not kid ourselves. The absolute hardest part about running a Nerf club is get everyone to stop talking about the mods and start nerfing.
Yes, there's that aspect as well. For sure. All right. While we continue this topic, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open up the phone lines. The number will be up there. Feel free to call in. We'll answer. And again, you'll have 3 minutes, and then we're going to kick you off our lawn unless we decide, you know what, we don't like you. We'll kick you off sooner. It's nothing personal, but, this is what the show's called, so we kind of got to do it. Otherwise, they won't believe us. It's just all credibility, man. But anyways, phone number's up there. Feel free to call in.
See, I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. The faster Al kicks you off the lawn, the more he likes you.
Yeah, because we want to be able to talk about your topic without you there, because you brought up such a cool question.
But we don't need your input anymore. But again, back to with numbers and having to charge. Let's face it. We live in a time and an age where nothing's free, and for especially those that have tried to organize a Nerf war, it costs money. As much as you don't want it to, it costs money. And I get it in the beginning when you're still trying to organize it and trying to charge people for it. People are going to say, I'm giving you money for what? 5 guys and there's nothing here. So I get that. But now when you get to a point where it is clearly organized and you can see what's happening, yeah, do not feel guilty or horrible for charging for that. Because let's face it, especially in Toronto, where can you go for 5-6 hours, spend $10 and be entertained? Nowhere. You can even rent a movie for $10. Like, come on, man.
No, the wife and I were literally about to rent a movie the other night, and it was going to be like $35. So like $10 American for Wolverine and Deadpool. And we both said the same thing. No.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. And well, you bring a point up with the charging too, right? So it didn't become that until we got to a bigger point. Before that, it was always just donations.
And even then, there was a long talk between the admin about it. Like, we didn't take it lightly. We had to charge for the dojo because we had to cover that cost. It was a cost that we were incurring. We charged a nominal fee for Hell Before Halloween last year and Echo Base simply because we had to cover the cost of like the venue and the porta potty. We were always doing the thing to charge to cover that cost. What really turned us around this year is, and we'll say this right now, I think we're still about $100 in the hole for the year overall, simply because every penny that we get from our members goes back to our members. It's, as we were talking about earlier, that's new darts. We built King of the Hill timers this year that were not cheap. And if we'd had someone build them for us, as opposed to me spending a couple weeks printing them, building them, troubleshooting them, making sure they worked, doing all the wiring, soldering, all of it. It was not a small gig. If the company I own did that for us, it would cost literally thousands. So, and we just covered the actual cost. To get back to but we believe in this. We believe in the hobby. We believe in what we do. Nerf is this amazing thing that we have. It can be as serious or as silly as you want, and we want to do that. And clearly, like, we're competitive guys. We love to play hard, but on the same point, Blue and I will both attest that our best blaster and our favorite blaster is the Knockout that our other admin member Adrian developed. It hits 130 maybe on a good day, and it's still, I've never had more fun in my life than sitting on the sidelines of Maryland Mayhem and shooting at my friends and watching them be confused out of their minds. So Luke, if you're watching, yeah, that was me again.
Yeah, on the timer thing, shout out to Adam Reed, and I believe
big shout out.
Game Mode Repository. The Flinging timer that he developed is awesome and legitimately has really helped change too just some of the game modes we can run, and the club guys love it. Like, we've been able to run Domination, which has just been great because there's no messing around. The timers do the timing, right? You just have to do a little math at the end to add up the score for the two timers, but makes it real nice and easy. And we've been able to play that and a couple other game modes with so much more ease and fun, and everyone just likes it.
Yeah, they very much have upped our game, and they will continue to up our game. We still have big plans. We're going to commission one of our guys to build some custom stands for them, so they're no longer duct taped to the top of a bucket, you know. But that also brings us back to, you have to start somewhere. You have to start small. You know,
yes.
We built cover. We spent a couple $100 in PVC and fabric, and I spent literal days sewing covers together. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in something, because the only thing that's ever free in this world is your labor. So if you so choose to do it, and think of it that way, that is what you're always putting back into it. You can take donations and get the money to get the materials, but someone's got to do it, and that's where it all comes apart for most people. You have to be able to buckle down and do the work. You know,
don't be lazy. Get to work, you idiots. A bunch of idiots that we are.
It's not
joyous idiots.
You know, it's you gotta invest at some point in the thing that you love doing. And you know, I think Blue and I will say that, how many times have Blue, like, you put out the money for those covers, and I don't even think you've started taking money back yet, as much as I keep telling you to stop doing that. You know, the hundreds of dollars I've donated in, you know, darts, and thousands of dollars I've donated in time, and resources. Just, you have to do it, and it will come back eventually. If you can show people that you love this thing and you are as committed to it as they are, your club will grow.
Yes, it will. 1 second. I just got to check in. Do we have a caller? I think we might have a caller. I don't know. We'll see if a random voice pops in that isn't one of us.
Hello.
Yes, we do.
Hi.
Hello.
So you guys were talking earlier about how, I think it was the Siren Gnarl, the one that you can, like, adjust the prime length to just the power.
The Mauler, yeah.
Yeah. You do realize that my Busby Predator, which has copyright 2013 molded into the side, also does that, right?
I did not know
but now I do know.
Yeah,
Dude, you forget we're
can
old
find-
people. I don't even know what I had for lunch yesterday. Never mind what I'm doing tomorrow. This is why
I don't know who the
I'm not
three other
surprised
people
that
in
it's
this
happened.
conversation are. Where is the voice of God coming from? Who is the voice of
I
God? They
know.
haven't even identified themselves.
I know.
They
Yeah,
just
what's your
started
name,
talking
brother?
to us.
Sam of
How
New
rude.
Jersey.
That's what I figured it'd be. Anyways, keep going, brother. What do you got?
So, because you can prime it back to any of the 3 clicks, but in order to actually fit a dart in there, you have to prime it back all the way. Or if you're willing to bend your darts, you can do 2. So, like, what's the point of even having 3 prime positions? Hold on a sec. My kitty's crying at the door. I need to let her in.
Fair enough. Well, tell me. Well, part of it is also it's 2013, and not many of us remember. It clearly was a successful platform, which is why it probably wasn't. And they're
Yeah,
pulling
it
up a new
also
one.
wasn't magazine fed, and like you said, it wasn't actually designed to do that. It was kind of just a feature of the manufacturing. Whereas in the Mauler, the shortest prime is exactly enough to chamber a half dart.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but it can do it, which is funny.
So the concept was around, and nobody just. It still baffles me that nobody really developed that earlier from the mod side of the hobby. Because in hindsight, like, oh, that's such a brilliant concept. Like, we've had adjustable dials that we put on the back of the buffer tube to allow you to reduce or increase the pre-compression, which will also allow you to adjust the FPS of the blaster. But it's not nearly as easy as just having a variable prime.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I haven't even seen inside that blaster yet, and I can't quite figure out how they do it.
Well, I assume they just have usually on the plunger rod, there's a notch where the catch goes in. This just has 3 of those at varying points.
Yeah. Also, me and my buddies were working on converting a John Deere Gator into a Nerf tank, essentially, but she threw a rod, and now she's sidelined.
Yeah, my golf cart has quit turning over, and I keep putting off getting it taken in.
LS swap it.
Dude, it's a freaking Gator.
LS swap it. That's the only answer. Why are we still talking? Get an LS.
That'll fit.
Make it fit. I've seen him go in a Miata.
There it is. Awesome. Get
With
off my lawn. Thanks for pointing that out, man.
Anything is possible.
Yeah. I'm going to have to look into that now, because I'm pretty sure I've got a Busby Predator around here somewhere.
You probably do. I'm going to guess it's in a bin.
Swapping your golf cart.
What is LS swapping? I'm just clueless today.
Oh, we forget. Yeah, Blue and I are both car guys.
Yeah, you are.
The big GM engine.
There it is.
Yeah.
And you put in little cars. Go really
There
fast.
it is. But anyways, to round up our point from before, put in the work, build it, they will come. And that's also why, like, the World Foam Alliance is what we're trying to do, is that while you build it, is to help you make people come to you. So that they know you're putting in the work and it's going to happen.
Advertising. We as a hobby are lousy at advertising.
Yes, we are.
Because we're all a bunch of nerds and we're not communication majors.
Well, also, the newer generation, too, just wants to do everything on Discord. Well,
Discord is the worst. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to rant on the lawn for 30 seconds, if I may, gentlemen. Discord is the worst. You cannot search Discord. No one can find you. You have an esoteric, tiny cadre of your own people that no one knows what's going on. And if you don't make it an open invite system or send out invites to everyone, no one knows what's going on. No one can find you. You will never grow on Discord. Yes, Facebook is for old people, but it's fantastic for organizing this stuff. You can search Facebook on Google. You do not have to be a member of that Facebook page for the most part, 90% of the time. Get off Discord, boys. It's fantastic for niche things. It's fantastic for different blasters and different clubs having their own Discords for communication, but you must be on a publicly viewable platform if you are going to grow. And if I don't see a million OK boomers in that chat right now, I'm going to be very disappointed. But figure it out, guys. You can't search Discord. No one will find you on Discord. It sucks. We know.
But I think people forget, what they forget with Discord is it is just a group text message. That's it. It's a fancy group text message, but it's just a text message. You can't use it for events, because I know I was asking one of the groups in Canada, I'm like, oh, when do you run your events? Like, well, join the Discord. I'm like, no, I'm not joining another random Discord that I'm probably never going to look in to just see if you're having an event. You have that event.
The first thing you do when you join a Discord is mute that Discord, because it's going to spam your inbox.
Ping, 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 ping. Yeah, I have the Discords that I run muted.
I've been to group wars now in, like, I went down to the SCNC, right? So Atlanta. I went to Detroit Art Club before it closed. I went down to Kane. I always look to see
Rochester.
I always look to see when Detroit's
club,
running.
Western New York Nerf Club.
Right.
We're talking over each other. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I always look to see when Tim and them are running in Detroit, if I can make it there. Most of the time, I'm always seem to be working when he runs wars. But I know I can look at that calendar, the events that they put out, and go, oh, am I busy that weekend? No. Okay, then I'm going to drive my ass down there. But without knowing what the events are and just being able to look literally on the calendar through and see a bunch of events for Nerf, I wouldn't know where you're having one and when it is. Like, that's I went down to Kane last year right before New Year's and did a war with those guys. And the only reason I knew it would work is because they had their event posted, and I went, oh, I'm going to be at my brother's house in Windsor, which is nice and close to the border there with Detroit. So I'm like, it's only like a 4-hour drive down to Kane. So I'm like, okay. And then I had 2 different invites for places to stay. So it was a nice, quick and cheap trip, right? Thanks to Chris for putting me up for the night. Chris from Frumble. So went and stayed with him, right? Hung out with him and Oliver for the weekend, and then came back up to my brother's house. But like I said, without that Facebook post being there and knowing that there was an event, I would have never went.
It is true. And also, you guys will, I'm assuming you'll be coming down, or hoping you'll be coming down for Endor.
The plan for me.
What about you, Blue?
Yep.
I'm hoping to. I haven't confirmed anything. I got some stuff going on with work, so just gotta figure some stuff out.
Life happens. No, we get that, man. So, and again, for those following along at home that don't know what we're talking about, so in terms of order, actually, we should mention this too. This weekend is Ragnarok Oktoberfest. I do believe it starts tomorrow.
Oh yeah, hey, that's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, right now, if you just found out about it now, pack your bag, buy a ticket, and start moving, because it's happening now. And if you're local and you don't know that, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, turn on something, listen to somebody. It's right there in your backyard. And if you're not going, what's your excuse? Go. We live across the country and can't. So again, Ragnarok Oktoberfest is happening this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun, because it always is. I have not made it to one yet, but I will make it. After that, we have Hell Before Halloween, and that's actually, again, the one that's happening up in Toronto, which our guests today are hosting. So remember to put that on your calendar. And yeah, you can go to Canada. No, you don't. It's not going to be snowy. You don't need a dog sled. Fine. Yeah, we live in igloos. Come check us out in the damn igloos, then, if that's what you believe. Whatever, get your ass out there.
Just go to Tim Hortons, get yourself a double, and show up. Wear your sweater like Al's wearing tonight. It's not a jersey, it's a sweater. It keeps you warm. Just keep your head up, your stick on the ice, and keep the foam flinging. You'll be fine.
And you get a hoodie.
You're not running around enough.
You put your hoodie on underneath your jersey, and that's how you fit in, and people think you're Canadian.
You put your sweater on under your sweater, Al. Come on, you've been
that's
too Americanized. Right. You're not wearing a jersey; it's a sweater.
Well, at the same time, if I said toque, they'd have no idea what we're talking about. So you got to kind of translate.
Figure it out, eh?
Exactly.
I can vouch. They already don't know what you're talking about.
See? Anyways, Hell Before Halloween, the weekend of October 19th. Also, we have the Battle of Endor. The Battle of Endor is happening November... whatever that...
Something or other.
5th? 2nd?
First
9th?
weekend of November.
First weekend of November is the Battle of Endor. That is the Maryland Nerf Herders event. But again, everyone from the Maryland Foam Alliance shows up. I will be there as well. Hixie has already confirmed Blue is potential. Captain Xavier, probably not because he's on the other side of the country. However, next year will be a different year for traveling. So again, put that out on your calendars. It's in Maryland. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is a one-day thing, but it's an all-day thing. And it is, I went last year and it was a lot of fun. Also then on your calendars, even though it's official, but unofficial or official, but not yet, but kind of mostly, Foamsgiving, which will be November, whatever the weekend before American Thanksgiving is, that Saturday will be a 24-hour live stream. I just have to get that out there so people can actually like plan their schedules and make it happen. The only other thing that's happening, but it's more of a closed event, is myself. I am flying out to go see Captain Xavier, and that'll be the weekend before Halloween. You'll see me over there potentially. We hope to live stream stuff, or maybe we'll just become hermits and not tell anybody nothing, and maybe send one picture. Maybe we'll live stream as
accurate.
There. Well, maybe we'll live stream for 5 minutes where we moon you and we tell you to kiss our butt. But you know, you're gonna have to tune in to find out if that actually happens.
Well, now I just want to come and be part of that.
I'm sorry. Did you want to come
Welcome
along?
to the bunkhouse comfortably holds 8 people, but if you're real friendly, it could do 24.
That's real friendly.
Well, so then it might be myself and Hixie over at the compound in Washington State.
Who's the big spoon?
I think the last time we talked about it, it might actually be cheaper for me to fly out there than for you.
Probably. You know what? This is what. So now we'll go off topic slightly, but again, the adventures of traveling. If so, most of y'all know who Maritime Foam is. Anthony. Anthony's based out in the Maritimes. He's in St. John's, New Brunswick. And Anthony always drives to our events. And I'm thinking, dude, why don't you fly? You sit for 37 hours in a car to get here. And then I checked flights. No wonder the man flies. We decided
because
one
he sits
random
for 34
weekend.
hours on a plane.
Oh, it's not even 34 hours. It's what it cost. We said, well, pick a random weekend where maybe he flies down here, you know what I mean, for a weekend because he loves the Maryland events. He knows everybody here. And he checked for his flight from St. John's, New Brunswick to D.C. It's not that far. We're the same continent. I think it's a 2.5, 3 hour flight. Now, before I give you that price, frame of reference, from where I am, flying out of Dulles, just outside of D.C., to over to Washington State goes from $380 to $480. Okay. Now, mind you, this is Canadian, but even when you do the conversion, Anthony picked a random weekend, and again, it was at least 2 weeks out. It wasn't like the next day or any of that crap. It was like a month in advance for him to fly, same continent, 2 different countries, same continent. Me to Seattle is further. St. John's, New Brunswick to Dulles Airport. Ready? $1,800.
I could fly to Vancouver business class for that.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I think he could rent he could probably rent a small plane for cheaper.
Business class for less than that.
It's like, you got to be kidding me. $1,800. No wonder the man drives everywhere. I drive everywhere.
Yeah, I've done that milk run. It's insane. There are 4 flights, and they go from Toronto to Halifax, not St. John's. So he's got to go Moncton and get a flight from a little puddle jump from Moncton to St. John or to Halifax. So he's going east before he goes west. And then it goes Halifax, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto. There is no direct flight. It does not exist.
No.
Yeah, and it's oddly enough, it's the littlest jumps from the littlest airports that add the highest cost. So a couple of years ago, I wanted to go. I flew to. I was gonna fly to go to Penn State, and getting to the East Coast was trivial cost. You know, getting into DC or getting into Dulles or getting into Pittsburgh or whatever. You know, it was $200 or whatever back then. but then getting to Penn State upped it to nearly 1,000.
You should have talked to us. We would have picked you up in Buffalo.
Well, what I ended up doing was flying into D.C. and then catching a ride with the guys out of D.C. who were going to Penn State.
That is a much more extreme version of the same thing, but yes.
Yeah. But to give an idea of how absurd it was, I could fly direct from Seattle to Amsterdam for less than it would cost me to go from Seattle to Penn State.
Yeah, but that's because you're catching a KLM flight. Those Dutch, they're just a little bit, up there, if you will.
It's still so stupid. It's like, come on, man. So on that note, if you're at an event and you're not in the Maritimes and Maritime Foam is there, man, appreciate the fact that the man is there, because you know what I mean?
He has more
Say hi to
commitment
him
than we do.
Yes, if you think you had a hard time, look at him. I've just told you why. Shut your mouth and have fun.
No, if Anthony's watching, big shout out, brother. Like you're doing it, and we all have respect for the amount of time, effort, and monetary contribution you make to this hobby. It's not lost on a fellow East Coaster.
There you go. And you know what? I do want to head out there. So at one point, when flights magically drop down, or we do something where it's affordable, I still want to get out there where we all show up and crash his place. It'd be overwhelming, but he would absolutely love it, and it'd be a lot of fun.
I mean, at this point, it's last time I did it, 16 hours of driving from here to St. John's. So it's about the same, if not less, for you. Just road trip it. Pick up Boomstick pick up Boom and Dart, and we'll all meet out in St. John's and just bomb in on Anthony's. No one tell him. Chat, do not tell Anthony that we're coming.
That's right. We don't know when, but
we don't know when. We haven't figured that out yet, but it needs to happen. We just need to show up on Anthony's doorstep.
We'll get there and he'll be out of town.
Probably.
No, our inside.
We pick the lock and eat all his food and leave.
It's not my fault he wasn't home.
I was about to say, it's St. John's, New Brunswick. You think his door is locked?
Good point. Good point.
The only reason Captain Xavier's door is locked is because of his neighbors. I've seen them.
Neighbors are trash of the worst kind.
Yeah, your neighbors, I would love to know what goes through their head when they see like me, you walk out the front door. Like last time, Anthony, like the three of us, if you have no idea who we are, we're three very large, intimidating men carrying out gun cases. Yet they just shut up and pretend like we're not there. Meanwhile, if I lived there, I'd be like, what the hell is going on in that house? Like, come on, man.
Pretty sure whatever it is, it's not savory.
Let's not kid ourselves, Al. If you lived across the street from Cap and you had no idea what he did, you would want to.
Yes. Oh well, I would have found out because I'm that guy. But yeah, well, if you're coming out with me, you'll know what I mean, and you'll see.
I kind of wonder every time we rent an Airbnb when we go down for these events, when they have the doorbell camera, what they think when they see us unloading. Like 7
literally 8, 9 fucking rifle cases, bins of darts and tack gear.
Yeah, but our darts are in
cowboy hats and costumes.
And Ontario plates, which is like Canadians. No, wait, this doesn't add up.
The invasion has started. We are way past due having some barbarians from the north come down and sort us out.
There's a reason they call it the White House.
Oh, that is funny. Oh, that is too funny. Gentlemen, then I guess for next year, I'm going to assume you guys are coming for Mayhem, right?
Yep.
Already booked.
Yep. You don't even know what day it is, but yes, we're going.
Don't even know what it is. I don't think they've announced it yet. It's already off. It's already booked. There's all of 1 weekend, 2 weekends in a year that I refuse to work. Mayhem is one of them. APOC is the other one.
APOC, I still haven't gone because I always have a convention that same weekend, and I can't dip on the convention because I just make too much money at it.
It's your local, is it not?
Huh? It
Is
is.
it not?
It's Otakon.
Yeah, it's your local, dude. Like, you gotta, like, I'm really super bummed. I saw Jang posting in the chat. Like, we would love to go out and play some competitive with him, do some King of the Hill at Rag. As long as I'm married, it's never gonna happen because my wife would kill me if I miss this weekend, and she would probably kill Blue if he missed this weekend at this point.
Yeah, but I don't live with her, so it's all good.
She'd find you. She's resourceful.
On the rag thing, yeah, I'd like to go back out there, but you did 18 and 19, did both those years, and then obviously everyone knows the world ended for a while. And then when they brought it back last year, the issue was they were talking about the COVID screenings and everything like that. There was no way I was dropping that kind of money to go down there and then have some issue with that stuff, because we don't have boosters or any of that here. We got rid of all that stuff, masks, everything like that forever ago. So getting a booster is not easy. So I wasn't going to go through all that just to go down for a Nerf event. And then this year, just money didn't work. It's not cheap for me to go there.
I can get a booster at Walmart here.
Well, the first year I made it a big trip, and I think I spent $14,000.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, but you also rented a car and drove to Vegas and went to how many hockey games?
Like I said, I made it a big trip.
So you could have bought a car.
I did 1,100 miles. I'm just saying. In the rental.
But hold on, Kat, you gotta remember, we're talking Canadian again. It's like $6.75 American.
Right. Might as well be yen. I get you.
Yeah. And then 2019 was a lot cheaper, but even then because I just did the quick weekend, even then I think I still spent like $3,000. So it's definitely not cheap. It was definitely worth it.
You know what's funny? For next year, we're gonna set a counter. Just because in terms of people that will drive anywhere and everywhere, Blue is right up there. In fact, just because he's able to go more, I think overall, so next year we'll set up a tracker of who has driven more miles / kilometers to events. All right.
Buff.
Well, all right, we'll put him as a third.
Buff. No one can ever beat Buff.
All right, but then right now I want to put it between Blue and Maritime. I will put Buff there as well. And then, because I think also Anthony is planning to hit at least 3 next year, at least 2 or 3, because he's going to do Survival Fest and Mayhem, and he'll try to do a third. So we'll do meters, especially for people that will drive everywhere, and we'll put Buff in there. Who's driven the most miles or kilometers? And then we'll have 3 categories: overall mileage, number of events, and then average travel.
But you got to remember, every time Blue drives, there's multiple of us in the car that take over.
No.
You guys will be part of a second group unless you're behind the wheel.
But here's my thing.
That's what I mean.
Do my so-called local wars count? Because that's 100 kilometers to the war.
Well, yes, put it in there. Put an asterisk behind it. That the more data we have, the better we can divide it up into different categories and awards and arguing points.
I drive an hour to the war to then go set up, which I don't think
it doesn't count. It doesn't count that you stop for Tim Hortons, do a couple of laps, then go pick up Jess and then back to your house and back again.
No, I'm the one that stops at Timmy's all the time. That's why I'm late half the time. I mean,
he Blue's doing laps. Come on, don't lie.
We're both doing laps on if it's a Saturday.
Yeah. So like I said, just for the local club, it's an hour drive for me. And like $60 in gas every war.
Wait, yeah, for you, yeah, it's Canada. Like for me, I got 3 Maryland events, and they're all in 3 different locations, and all 3 are magically an hour between 55 minutes and an hour 10 from my house. I'm like, are you doing this to me on purpose? Like, come on, man, can't something?
Yes, this is why I built an arena in the back of my yard.
And if I had your property, sir, I would also build an arena in the back of my yard.
Isn't there plenty of land in Canada? Buy yourself a couple acres.
I live in Toronto. My lot is 10 by 30 by 100, and it cost me 1.2 million.
Dude, Southern Ontario. So for those that don't know, the overall population of Canada, I do believe it's at 36 million now, or it's in around there, correct?
Yep.
Somewhere around there. California has more.
And Southern
in
Ontario,
an area the size of Southern Ontario.
And Southern Ontario has 11 million people. 1/3 of the population of Canada lives in Southern Ontario. So it is packed. There's a lot of land, but you're fighting it with deer, moose, and bears and people that own cottages. But otherwise, Southern Ontario, man, it's just a lot of humanity.
Yeah,
Here's a
from
fun fact.
Hamilton to where Blue lives, it looks like one city.
Here's a fun fact. There are more Americans living further north than Canadians.
Yes.
Yes.
Quite. It'd definitely close.
No, it's true.
Well, you got
to remember, we're all south of the 49th parallel. Like,
yeah, I know.
You're all south of
Toronto's
Seattle.
super south of Seattle.
Yeah. Yes.
You're south of Seattle, you're south of Alaska, you're south of Maine, you're south of New Hampshire, Vermont.
If I'm not mistaken, Cap, you are to go to your place from where we are, we have to go north first.
Probably.
Yep.
I'm towards the center of Washington, so I'm further south than Seattle.
Yes, we have to go north, but we have to go north to get to you. You have to remember, Vancouver, which is less than an hour basically an hour and a half from Seattle. Vancouver, Canada, is still further north than the tip of Lake Superior, which is almost a day's worth of driving from where we are. Due north.
Yep.
It takes less time for me to drive from Toronto to Florida than it does to drive from Ontario to the other end of Ontario.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
It's 24 hours to get across the province, and it's only 21 to get down to Florida.
And it's 29 hours to get from Windsor to Thunder Bay?
Something like that. To go all the way around, yeah.
To go all the way from as far south to not even close to as far north. You can't actually drive to the north end of Ontario.
So for those following along at home, Windsor is, if you know where Detroit is, Windsor's on the other side of Detroit, and Thunder Bay is, just go to the top end of the lakes, man, and due north for a while, and that's where Thunder Bay is.
But you can't even go due north. You have to go a hell of a lot east before you can get there.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, and then take the highways into example, and we do this the whole time.
Yes.
There's no interstate.
No.
We have a monolithic highway we call the 401. It makes the 405 freeway in LA look like a 2-lane highway in the middle of nowhere. But it also makes the 405 freeway in LA look like an expressway that's doing 120, 130 miles an hour in comparison, because Jesus.
It is crazy.
Toronto is an hour from Toronto.
Yes, it is. And but now that we trashed in terms of how long it takes and how horrible traffic is, please come out to a next Canadian event in Toronto. It is great.
No, don't come to Toronto. Come to everywhere else but Toronto. It's amazing.
Yes. But you probably got to fly to Toronto to go there. Anyways, disregard all that. Hell before Halloween, fly into Toronto and go to it or drive.
You'll be fine. Take the 407. It'll be fantastic.
That's right. Actually, because if you got an American plates, you won't get billed. You're fine.
You literally hop off the plane in at Pearson. You hop at the 410 there. Get on the 407. You'll be at Blue's Place in 35 minutes. If you take the 401, it'll be about an hour and a half.
Maybe. So to give everyone an idea, the 407 is a toll highway they built that's just north of the city that was supposed to alleviate traffic, but it is a toll road. But here's the best part. It says out-of-state plates will be billed. I have not been billed yet, and it's been, what are we at now?
You missed the best
18 years.
Who owns the 407?
Years. Oh, I know that, but we won't get into politics too far now. But anyways, the point is, 18 years, I've not paid a thing. And you have the option of going onto their website and entering your license plate. I've not done that because I think that's how they find out who you are. And then they say, haha, I'll send you a bill. So
Don't
just
give
drive the
information to Sweden.
407.
The
Don't
Swedes
give
will
them
screw you
information.
over.
Yeah, they have no idea who you are, and I still haven't been arrested or billed for it. So yeah, 407, out of state plates, out of country plates, you're fine. It's free. If you're Canadian, sorry.
Apparently, there's a club in Calgary now.
Tell us about the club in Calgary, man. What'd you find?
You now know everything that I know. The most recent comment on this video is, "Come to Calgary. We got a club here now. It's cool."
Check that out. All right, yeah, look at that.
All right, shout out to Calgary.
Well, there's enough people in Calgary, so yeah, you'd think there would be, man.
They have a stampede. It's their thing.
They have the Stampede. Calgary's still a boom town too,
It's
so
Dallas
why not?
North, man.
That's right.
All you Texans out there, you want a place in Canada you're gonna feel right at home? Go to Calgary. They got the cowboy hats.
So wait a minute. It
and
takes
a
so
Saddle Dome.
if we're looking at like Canada, Calgary's here, Toronto is down here. It takes 24 hours to get up past the lakes at Thunder Bay. And then from that point to Calgary, isn't it take less time to get across the state
No.
than the 3? I've never done it.
4 days.
How far is it then from is it 4 days?
4 days.
Ontario to
Now,
Alberta.
If you drive through Canada, it is 4 days from Toronto to Calgary.
Well, it's telling
you
me
go
1 day,
through-
11 hours.
If you
Right.
go through, that's of driving.
Yes.
Now, if you drive through the states, because you can basically cut down and basically, once you get around Lake Michigan, just shoot directly west, it is 2.5 days of driving to get to Vancouver, which is further west.
Wow. Our highways suck.
It's saying it's 3,400 kilometers from me. So, what is
Yeah,
that?
and it was
Somewhere around 2,000
3,500. It's
miles.
3,500 from me to Vancouver through the states. Ask me how we know.
Because you've done it. So hey, Cap, man, how many miles from your house to Vancouver, Canada?
No idea.
Quick, hit the
Vancouver,
Google.
Washington's only like 45 miles, which is where Out of Darts is.
Ah.
Isn't that the other direction?
Yes. Yeah, Vancouver is right across the border from Portland, Oregon. Yeah, it's about 45 minutes from my place to Out of Darts' warehouse, which is where Dr. Flux works now, the fink.
So, to drive through
How are we going to figure this out? Now we have Luke and Luke of Out of Darts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it's not okay.
This is
What's
not
the
okay.
fair
I don't
rule
like
of
it.
Luke?
It was enough of a problem when we had events here and they both show up because they're both Luke. And now they work at the same place. And so, we just took to calling them Flux and Ood.
Yeah, people with the same first name. It's just, it doesn't work at all. I don't know how anyone can figure that out ever.
Not an issue I've ever run into.
Blue, how do you feel about that?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's why I changed my name to Al. I also was Chelo, and we thought this would be just too weird for people.
Yeah, but you then ended
You're
up going with my
Canadian. You
younger
were named
brother's
Jeff.
name.
You know that.
That's right. Your younger brother is Al.
I mean, if you shorten his name a lot, but yes.
Well, I've had people that I've known for years. They go, "Wait, your full name isn't Alphonse?" No, dude. Come on, man. No.
So,
My brother's
looking
full name
at
is
Google Maps,
Elagio.
There it is.
44 hours to drive to Vader.
What?
44 hours of actual drive time to drive to Vader
Eat.
from here.
So,
I'll
Blue,
see
you'd
you
have to leave on
Saturday.
Tuesday. That's right.
That's a lot of driving.
That's
Now,
I'm gonna
a lot of
fly.
driving.
I've done driving. I drove to Texas and back in 4 days.
Feel free.
This,
You're gonna fly. PDX is actually closer than SeaTac, just so you know.
yeah.
But PDX usually has fewer flights.
Yeah, I think I got to do a connection. There's no direct, or the direct. Is a
Yeah,
weird
we were.
time.
Al and I were chatting about this the other day, and I have two options. I can transfer in Chicago, or I can transfer in either SeaTac or San Francisco. but there is literally no direct flight between here and Portland. It does not make sense.
No, it's a smaller airport, so.
We'll make it work.
The difference is about a half an hour. SeaTac is about an hour and a half north of me. PDX is an hour south of me.
Isn't SeaTac closer to 2 hours from you?
It might. Well, depends on traffic.
Depending on the time of day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last time we had to plan for 2 hours, and it was about 2 hours.
Just browsing through chat there. Hello, chat. We've ignored you a little bit tonight, but I noticed Clowny there in chat, and I wanted to give a huge shout out to Clowny Nerf. If you don't know who Clowny Nerf is, Clowny is more old school than we are. Clowny is one of the most old school of the old school, and I want to give a big shout out to Clowny. Dude, we miss you. It was so lovely to meet you at APOC back when we met in 2018, 2019. Can't remember at this point. But, and then getting to see you again after all those years at Survival Fest last year was absolutely amazing. So I just want to give big shout out to one of the most old school Nerfers you will ever meet out there. Clowny, this one's for you, buddy.
Well, the thing with Clowny is that Foam-flinging, even though I'm not on the screen, but you hear me, I'm going to grab something. But basically,
like they abandoned us. Blue.
Clowny art.
Yes.
I have Clowny art.
Yes.
So do I. I'm coming. It's because of Clowny and what he used to do with the charity for the kids, but it was getting overwhelming and hard for him to do. So hence why we started Foam-flinging, because it's basically all inspired by him. But then also the other little thing he does, and I've shown it before, but I'll show it again. Check that out, man. Oops. Why am I going the wrong way? It's like I'm broken today. There it is.
Down.
Ooh.
Yeah, check out that miniature he made. And it's shoulder pads, shin guards, even the master key. It's like everything that that I make, and he sent that to me, and it's like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm going the wrong way again. Now I'm like an old guy. Where are we? I don't know what we're talking about here. What's going on here?
Where's
here, Grandma? But anyways, yeah, man, miniatures too, and this thing is just amazing, and I love this thing, and it sits right on my workbench, right there where I can look at it whenever I want. So that is Clowny Nerf, and it's also because of Clowny Nerf that we do Foam-flinging. So if he's still in here, great. If he passed out and said, I'm too old for this crap, I'm out of here, someone tell him.
He fell asleep.
We're here gushing about him, and he pissed off. Figures.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Someone go give me crap.
I will. Funny enough, I will never forget this little moment. I wish I took a photo of it, but the first APOC that Blue and I went to back at the old field they used to be in New Jersey, I just remember Blue and I like hauling our gear the monolithic walk from the parking lot all the way to where the field where they played at. And I just remember this little scene of him and Griever, also another guy to check out if you don't know Griever. They were walking about maybe 50, 60 meters ahead of us, yards for y'all that speak freedom units. And just this beautiful little moment, like where Griever had like his flag over one shoulder, and Clowny was waddling along beside you. And if you know Clowny, you know what I mean when I say he was waddling along beside him. And it was this perfect little moment. And I knew that day that it was going to be a good day, because this is what Nerf was all about. Two entirely different people. Because Griever is also, 6 foot? Who knows?
4, 5?
And Clowny is 4 foot, all of nothing. And just never a more unlikely pair, you and me. But yet Nerf is what brought them together. And I just remember that beautiful little moment, and I literally wish I had a moment to take a photo of that. But
I got to know Griever because during N-War in Rochester, when it was him and I, we spent when we were zombies at that point. Yeah, because I got separated from Anthony, and me and Griever went for a long walk, and I mean a long walk, where I gave up. At one point, my feet were killing me, and he put in something like 34,000 steps, and his feet were bleeding. But it was a lot of fun to hang out with him like all day that day. So if you ever get the chance, go check out his channel, man, and yeah, you'll find Griever. He's good people.
Yeah, Griever's good peeps. We got to see him at APOC this year. Yeah, again, Clowny, we miss you, buddy. You were missed at APOC this year. You were missed at Survival Fest this year. Take care of yourself. We hope to see you whenever we can.
What were you gonna say, Cap?
What? Nothing. I got nothing.
You got nothing? Did you sort all your darts,
Clowny.
man? Because I saw you were busy over there.
I'm pretty much done. What have I got left? I've got the miscellaneous bin, which includes things like half mega Acu fakes, an opened box of N series, one Ultra Screamer, some Boomco, a reactor ball, one Nerf arrow,
You need to stop.
And a partridge.
A banana.
Like
one banana.
So that was a banana in your pocket. Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely not happy to see you. And one super light rival round. The ones that if you fire them from a Hera, they will shoot around a 90-degree corner. Fabulous stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I guess we should ask. So then, Cap, man, the range is tomorrow, correct?
Hopefully.
Do we have
Yes.
what do we have lined up for the range tomorrow?
What do we have? I have no idea. I'd have to check the channel. I can do that. I got the internets.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, last time I was on, I requested, I think it was reactor balls. Was it reactor balls?
You can request all kinds of stuff, but did it win the survey?
You did it just for me. You even shouted it out.
Did I? I have no memory of this.
Fucking old guys.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast, man. I don't even know if I remembered to have lunch. I think I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I definitely didn't remember to have lunch. That has nothing to do with my age.
Oh, well. Hey, as it turns out, ballistic balls won. Ballistic balls and full-length darts.
No, but
Wow.
if I'm gonna make a personal request while I have everyone behind me, it's got to be something odd, unique, different. When was the last time you did Vortex?
Which kind? Rings or discs?
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
Both of them. I've done them both this year.
You know what? Hold on. Let me kibosh this for a second. Stepping in all over people's who actually weren't lazy and actually voted, and he walks in and wants to vote on it now. So you can't do that now because you can't trounce people. But since you want to feel
Remember,
special,
there are three categories. There's the people, the two that the people voted for, and then whichever one I decide to do because I feel like it.
true.
He's
but
trying
hold
to
on,
get in on the dealer's choice.
Exactly. But wait for my proposal after I trash him a little bit first. So instead of trashing everyone else like a Canadian, try to step in front of everybody else, man. Why don't we just do a special episode of the range if we're all going to end up in the same place on the actual range? Wouldn't that be
if
more
you come
fun?
out here, you'll get to go to the range and play with all the fun toys. You know, get minigun and smart.
I don't know. What do you think,
flamethrowers.
Chet? If I'm gonna put the money out to fly money, time, and effort to go see Chelo, what do you want to see me shoot, Chet?
There it is.
Broken Maverick.
Plain and simple. I will.
That's what I'm gonna do.
I will put this forward with your broken Maverick, sir. I will hit that 25 at least once.
Are you gonna
And then
throw
I will-
the Maverick?
No, that was what I was going to do. I'm not going to shoot. I will throw the Maverick.
My
I
friend,
said
you've become
Maverick.
predictable.
No. You know what we're going to do? We're going to rent a wood chipper, and then
We're going to rent a wood chipper, mulch it, melt it down, make it into a projectile, shoot the Maverick bullet.
Special episode of The Range. We'll have the wood chipper facing the range and put stuff through the wood chipper.
Hey, we got a hit.
I don't see how this can go wrong. I don't understand why we're not doing it now.
I'm disappointed.
Can we build a catapult?
Yes.
No,
I have been wanting to build my own.
That's how you bring down walls.
Hey, if you can't get the golf cart fired up, we'll take out the engine, man, and we'll just turn that into a mobile trebuchet.
Yeah. Counterbalance. We'll use it as a counterbalance for a trebuchet.
There it is. Oh, I love it.
How
Oh
much
my
weight
God.
would we need to hurl a golf cart? You have a Tahoe, right?
No, I have a
God.
Trailblazer, but I'm using that.
Same thing.
Oh, this is funny. So clearly, tune in when we're in Captain Xavier's compound. Look for something stupid to happen, or nothing. Either way, you're gonna have to tune in to find out if anything happens.
Shenanigans will abound.
It is.
Shenanigans abundance.
All right, gentlemen, we're almost getting to the hour. Final statements in terms of Hell Before Halloween and Tang. What do you want? What do you got left in the year, and what do you want to let people know about?
Well, obviously, like you said, Hell Before Halloween is October 19th, starting at 11. The post is on the Facebook group, Toronto Area Nerf Group, for the event. $13 Canadian, so come on out, play. It's a blast, and we're using our new arena that we created in the woods, so a lot of fun.
And you will be donating stuff because I'm going to send you stuff, and we'll see who else can send you stuff.
Yep, there will be some prizes, that's for sure.
As Cap is showing, there will be a Headhunter award. We'll have an award for best costume. And yeah, come out. Come do it old school. Bring your best blaster that doesn't take a mag. Anything hopper fed, anything with a rotating turret, anything that uses old school speed loaders. Not how many darts can I shove into an internal mag at speed loaders? How many barrels can I tape together to get different shots? It's all about the old school. And for those people wondering what you're going to run, there are files out there that single a slab. There are files out there that I'm sure will single pretty well any blaster you can think of. Anything you can fit a dart in the barrel of, you can shoot it. And it just brings me to a funny thing I saw on Reddit the other day. Someone was saying, asking about Nerf barrels. And they were just like, a Nerf barrel is something you can't find at any old hardware store. And I say, oh, you sweet summer child.
Absolutely.
We've come a long way.
Yeah,
we have come a long way.
It is.
We will be a couple free rounds where you can use a mag.
What?
Oh. There will be a couple rounds at Hell Before Halloween where you are free to use anything, including mags. But those are going to be seldom and few between, but there will be a couple for people just to screw around and mess around. But in general, there is so many things that can shoot a single dart. There's even, I saw it there for the Striker 2.0. Someone made a magwell that will just take a single dart.
But of course they did. That is
just
awesome.
Remember, if you are of the ilk of one mag, one tag, come out and find out what it's like to get one dart, one tag.
And if you're looking for a reason to go to Canada, you know how a reason. Shut up, get in your car and go. Come on now, people. This is what makes it fun. How do you think we all met? Because we sat there and said, well, it's kind of far away. Because we went to an event and now we're all friends. Never mind in the chat and everywhere else. Man, we have a man from Iowa that also drove all the way from Iowa to go to different events. So yeah, no excuses. Get in the car and
we had a man who drove from St. John's, New Brunswick to come to events.
2 different parts of the continent. And they came. Some of us flew, but that's not the point. Anyways, find a reason you can go. Also, as we talked about earlier, they are not much for Discord. To find out more information about Tang, which is the Toronto Area Nerf Group, find them on Facebook, and they post all their events there, and everyone's pretty friendly. Canadians, of course. So if you have any questions about Hell Before Halloween, just rewind this and watch it, or go to the Facebook group, and you can post questions there, and they will happily answer it. Also, on that note, Cap, do you have anything you want to share or tell people?
No.
Fair enough. He doesn't want to talk anymore because he's done, and he has a dart stuck on his head. Other things coming up.
Wait. No, stick.
Oh, there we go. Now
Skill issue.
Yes, exactly. So just again as a reminder, Ragnarok Oktoberfest this weekend. We will most likely have at some point after it a debrief. We'll see who we are able to get on to talk about it, which will be a lot of fun and a lot of great. Again, the unofficial announcement is that Foam's Giving will be the weekend before American Thanksgiving, 24-hour live stream. We'll be putting something together and putting that out. It'll be a lot of fun, and we're giving away a lot of stuff. Maryland Foam Alliance, the Battle of Endor is coming up. It is the first weekend in November. It is a one-day event, and it is so much fun. Cosplay is encouraged as well. Come out to that. I will be at that as well. We will be giving away stuff. I also think that the announcement for Maryland Mayhem will be coming soon-ish, but I'm pretty sure next Wednesday we're going to have Andrew, a.k.a. Dart Sweep. With Foam Zone, and he'll talk about the things he does, and I'm pretty sure he's got a guest lined up already because he's organized unlike we are, but that's why we love him. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it, like it, subscribe it, sneak on your friends and your family and make them subscribe to us even if they have no idea who it is. The more people we get, the better reach we get, the more money we get. That means we can actually do more stuff because we make no money. Also, we're
and when you're done with that, come swing the Tang Nerf YouTube and give us a little love because we could use the support as well.
There you go. Do that as well. But then also worldfoamalliance.org. Make sure to go register on the website. A major update is finally coming. We're excited about it. It will happen one way or another. Like we said, we are not full-time people, but we work on this very much whenever we can, and we will make this happen. Why? Because we need it. It's fun, and it is a good thing. worldfoamalliance.org. Go ahead and register. On that note, gentlemen, thank you for coming out. We'll see you all soon. Next time, we'll have somebody about something, and I don't know, or we'll just do stuff. Someone will remind us. That's why we have keepers. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night, man. We'll see you next time.